I know you had some success with Robert Moody. You went to Juilliard eventually, and you were a composer there, studying with quite not a traditional composer. I know you studied with Crigliano and others as well. But were you continuing on in a sort of DJ career? Did you have a career at all? Were you doing stuff on the side? Was this something as an artist, as a musician, was your output? I mean, obviously you weren't doing solo piano recitals at that point. You were still composing as your main thing, but the DJing thing seemed to be something you did on the side. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, I mean, it became a real like key pursuit when I moved to San Francisco in 2000, because out here after the .com bust, all of these spaces had DJs in them. Like during the .com boom, apparently like every single venue, from an art gallery to like a restaurant to whatever, would have DJs. And so when I came out here, it was like, wow, like it's like a house organist in every single space. And so I really dove into DJing, and I also, there were two things about it. One is I love electronica. I love all kinds of techno and everything from, down tempo to drum and bass. I love those sounds, and there's something that is unique about that genre, which within the world of pop music, which is it's not lyric driven or even vocalist driven generally. It's textures and rhythms, harmonies, just like symphonic music. So it can integrate in a way that is harder, I think, for like rock and roll to integrate with orchestras. The other thing, though, is in terms of it being a real pursuit, I just knew that if I was going to really get to the essence of this music, I had to go hustle and walk into clubs and give out demos. And, I did several residencies in San Francisco for years and years at different venues, going to Chicago during my symphony residency and hanging out with this DJ collective and doing these crazy Burning Man type parties. Why? Because, it's one thing to understand it as a listener, but to really get into it and to really be an actual, working DJ. Now, my symphonic music always paid the bills more than DJing, but that's, you understand it differently. And I think you understand a little more substantively. You end up getting closer to that essence. And so for me, it's, there have been times when I've been sitting in a club, DJing 4 hours, thinking, this is not paying great, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, you know what? This is an awesome sound system. I love this venue. I love these people dancing. And I'm understanding something about this music that I wouldn't get if I was just hearing it in my car. I'm actually trying to make it happen as a musician. So I think it's important. If you love, like, now's a great time. I mean, COVID, like, I wish I'd learned to play, bluegrass finger picking guitar this past year. Didn't do that, unfortunately. But you know what I mean? Like to really like go into something. I think composers and conductors are often used to like, okay, I can analyze what this is. You kind of have to do it, I think, at least me. So that's been a key part of my life.
I think it's really great to hear this backstory, because I didn't even know that much, and I've known you a long time. And I think what's really interesting about it is you're practicing what you preach, and that's what's made you not only on the surface super successful at integrating, electronic music, DJ music, or whatever you want to call it, stuff outside of the typical classical world, but you're doing it in such an authentic way that's true to your voice, that it's allowing you to create what is essentially your voice, your vision, in this whole new context that even if someone is trying to imitate it, they don't have the history of your shoes they've been walking in. I mean, the fact that you came back to San Francisco and just immersed yourself in the DJ scene when, you just graduated this degree from Juilliard with a composition degree, it's like totally the other thing. But like you found a way to bring this all back. And it's